Hello, my name is Dan Allen, and this is my review of Valerian in the City of a Thousand Planets. Now, when we first start this film, we see the space program and how it expands throughout the years and throughout the decades, and how America gets involved with all these other countries, and then gradually all these other planets and all these other species and races from other planets, and they all join together on our space station, and it becomes a gigantic space station, a space station of 1,000 planets, basically a city of 1,000 planets. So that's how basically we get all these different planets into this giant space station. And we start out with this planet called Mule, and these people live on a paradise, basically. They live in giant seashells, and they have a beautiful life in a beautiful world that they live in, very peaceful and very serene world. They have these little creatures that produce these pearls, and these pearls are what keeps the planet the way it is, keeps them the way they are, and they're a very peaceful race of people. Fast forward, we get to see Valerian and his girlfriend Lorelei. Well, they're kind of partners, really. Valerian and Lorelei are played by Dane DeHaan and Cara Delevingne. You may know Dane DeHaan from previous movies this year. He came out with a movie called A Cure for Wellness. And Cara Delevingne, we've seen her in a few other movies. The Fault in Our Stars. Well, not The Fault in Our Stars, I'm sorry. Suicide Squad. She played the villain in Suicide Squad last year, not The Fault in Our Stars. I apologize for that. And so they're just basically cops, basically police, space police, and they go on and do different jobs. And so they go on a mission to rescue this little creature that we find out later in the film has a connection to the mule. That's MUL. That's the name of the planet and the species of people that live on the planet, because this little creature creates these little pearls, and that helps sustain the mule and keep their civilization and whatnot going. So we have this whole shopping area that's invisible unless you put these goggles on, unless you go through this specific door, and that's the only way you can go into the city. And so they have to rescue this little creature from that. And then they have this big gangster character voiced by John Goodman. You know, if you think John Goodman is going to be able to voice a gangster character, well, this is the character that he's going to voice, because this guy's a big guy, but he has like a dog face kind of thing. And he's not a nice guy. Let's put it that way. He's not a nice guy. So there's this whole adventure at the beginning. But then they get back, and we find out that there's a dead area in the space station. And Clive Owen, who plays the commander, the main commander in the film, he kind of hides some of this stuff. He's like hiding some of this information until he gets kidnapped. These people that are in this dead zone have kidnapped the commander. And so Cara Delevingne's Lorelei and Dane DeHaan's Valerian have to go on a mission to rescue this commander, played by Clive Owen. And one of the characters that Valerian runs into is a kind of a brothel guy, played by Ethan Hawke. He runs this kind of fantasy kind of brothel type of situation. And there's this character called Bubbles, played by Rihanna, and she basically does this kind of dance, song and dance type of thing for Dane DeHaan. But he doesn't get fooled by this, and he realizes that she is something else, and her name is Bubbles, and she ends up helping him because Lorelei gets separated from him, and she gets captured by these other creatures, these kind of Aborigine alien type of creatures with spears and whatnot. Whoever goes in their area, they never come out. So he has to disguise himself to go into their area and rescue Lorelei. Then we got the new commander, played by Sam Spruell. He's trying to figure out this mystery and what's going on, and how, he gets Valerian on his monitors where he can, figure out where he's at. Then he disappeared. Then he comes back, and the same thing with Lorelei. So he's dealing with this whole situation and these giant robots that are programmed by the previous commander. So these robots are kind of dangerous characters. And eventually we find out that Lorelei and Valerian end up in this dead zone within the space station, and they figure out what's going on. I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to give the whole story away. And we have a very tense situation involving the robots, the military of the commander who's now in command, Sam Spruell, the previous commander who is a capture, and then we have this whole storyline going from the beginning of the movie till the end of the movie. Luc Bisson really got me at the beginning of the movie when he was showing these planets and these aliens and these different species and the planet Mule, and I was just awestruck by the beauty of this film. He really captured how beautiful this galaxy can be and the different planets and the different races, and how the space station has different areas for each race to live in, water areas and all this kind of stuff. And I really enjoyed the different places that we went within the space station. Sometimes the different planets that we ended up on, or the shopping area or whatever. And so that stuff, it's on par with like a Star Wars movie or the Star Wars trilogy, because you get to see the seedy side of the space station, but you also get to see the beautiful side. And some of the characters have some real interesting backstories, and none of the characters are the same. You don't see the same species, all kinds of different species. And, this is all prosthetics and makeup and special effects and all this kind of stuff. But the main story here is Lorelei and Valerian and their relationship and how they get along as partners and maybe possibly romantic interests with each other. And, going into this, I wasn't really excited for these two lead actors and this actor and actress to work together, because they kind of seemed wooden in the trailers. But I actually kind of enjoyed the relationship with them much more than I thought I would. I'm going to give Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets a big see it. I just hope it makes some money this weekend. It deserves. It's a fun. It has a great message. I want to make sure it has a really good message that I'm not going to give away in my review, because I don't want people to say that I'm giving away spoilers. But it has a really good message throughout the film about preservation of species and planets and stuff like that. And that's what's the overlying story of the whole movie. So my name is Skip, and this is my review of Valerian and 1,000 Planets. The City of 1,000 Planets. Valerian and the City of 1,000 Planets. That's my review.